A little bit of caravan maintenance today. So those that have been following this channel will know that I am now an erstwhile, or a former, campsite warden, and for 5 years I lived and worked in this caravan, and of those 5 years, the majority of the time the caravan was stationary on a warden pitch for several months of the year, and then for 3 years it stayed on a seasonal pitch on a campsite in Lincolnshire. Didn't move, it moved once. So there is issues if you've got a touring caravan on a seasonal pitch. Because the caravan isn't moving, you can end up with problems. So things like wheel bearings and even your jockey wheel and tyre pressures and things like that, they tend to be neglected and forgotten about. Your caravan just sits on that seasonal pitch and everything is just taken for granted. That's going to be great when you come to tow it. One of the issues you can get, and which is what we're going to look at, my pitch was on, I was very fortunate that it was a hard standing pitch for the last 3 years. But what happens is, these are Caravan steadies which we're looking at. What happens is that, sorry if it's a bit, if the light is a bit different, when it's raining, the rain is bounding down and it's bounding onto the ground here, and it's buffering up all bits of grit, and then the grit basically gets onto, I'm going to call it the worm thread on your corner steadies. So all being well, this is going to show, and then when you come to sort of wind your corner steadies up and down, because of the muck in the threads, it causes a problem. So don't, whatever you do, use water, WD-40 on anything like this. WD-40 is a water dispellant. WD, water dispellant, it's for dispelling water. So it gets used for all sorts, including lubrication. And if you're lubricating something away from corner steadies, think something like a silicone grease is the sort of thing you need, not WD-40. And whatever you do, the last thing you want to do is use conventional grease on your corner steady worm threads. Whatever you do, motorbike going by, a very old motorbike going by, because that grease will attract and will hold on to grit and will make the matter even worse. So some people say you can use motorcycle chain oil, which is designed not to hold grit. But what we're using is, we're going to be using some white lithium grease today. And what I am going to do is I am going to put a link onto Amazon. People always say to me, oh, where do you get these things from? So this is, I think it's a 300ml. Is it 300ml? Yeah, the 300ml tin of the white multi-purpose protects and lubricates for hinges, runners and tracks. It's a white grease in a spray form, and it's cost about a £5. So a couple of other tools I've got a corner steady winder, because I'm going to be cleaning this worm gradually side by side. I'm going to be cranking it over side by side and working it backwards and forwards. I've got a very old rag, and my main tool for cleaning this is going to be a wire brush. You could use a bit of a toothbrush or something like that. And some people say you can, from, I don't know, Screwfix, you can get a degreaser spray also to get rid of any old grease. So I've had a look at these, and these were last cleaned and serviced 6 years ago. So as I say, it's sat for 3 years. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and take you on this little trip of cleaning and showing you how, well, all being well, by the end of it, how a few minutes, it's going to say 15 minutes a corner, so an hour can make all the difference. Okay, so some of you will have had this experience you get here, and it's like, oh, it's so hard to turn because of the grit that's got onto the, I'm calling it the worm thread. I am going to leave this corner steady on because, as I say, we'll go underneath and we're going to be cleaning sort of like 25% of the thread. We're going to crank it over another 25%, crank it over, make sure it's all done. We'll give it a wipe over with the cloth, and then we'll be putting some of the lithium grease on. Safety first. Whatever you do, make sure you've got some kind of eye protection on when you do these. I've got my glasses on because you can get bits of debris coming down. So whatever you do, safety first, and make sure you have got some form of eye protection on. Right, so I'm not too sure whether you can see, but the thread is absolutely gunged up. I don't know if you can see. If I start, not too sure whether this is going to show, but what I want to do is I'm now wanting to get the thread as much as I can cleaned over, and then once you've done a little section like this, we'll just get the corner steady, the crank handle now, and we'll turn it around and just move the thread over another 25 degrees. Right, so this is this one done, and as I say, go along and wind it there. And then what I'm going to do now, my electric drill bit didn't have enough power to crank this up or down, and now it has. So let's just give this a turn, and you can see what I'm doing. Right, okay, so let's say we were out in the caravan recently. We took it up. Sorry, there's a drain pipe. We took this for a touring, and we had some difficulty with the corner steadies, and as you can see, that's really good. Right, one down, three more to go. This is a really good example. This is so stiff to get down. And rather sweaty. The electric drill that I've got, the torque isn't strong enough to deal with this and to use this, so that's why we're doing the manual crank. So I'm just putting this right down now, and then that'll expose again the worm. I'm calling it the worm drive, the main worm drive. Me, right, you can really see how bad this one is. I'm not too sure the camera's going to be picking this up, but yeah, this is yeah, this is just trying to scrape some of that off there. So all being well, we'll get this we'll get all of this old grease and grime and bits of grit that's been bounding off the floor, and all being well, we'll get a result on this. Right, so there's going to say the main problem is this sort of back area. I don't know if you can see what I'm trying to point to, which is where the grit all comes in. Anyway, I've cleaned all that lot, and I just showed you a moment ago, so I put this on a bit of a tripod, how difficult this was to wind. If you look now, oh well, this will show. To get the manual winder on. So coming up this, that's one finger, literally, and before I was really struggling, and then this drill, not particularly a high torque drill, this wouldn't even budge it at all, and now I can go down and it can go up and down. What I'll do is I'll try and show you underneath, and then you can see Now the mechanism, as I say, along this area here is your main one that's tending to get all greased and messed up. Let's try and get the camera and you can watch this sort of going up and down and see a little bit better what's going on. Okay, all being well, you can see what's going on. Right, this side's a bit tighter, but one more rear one and then one more front one to go. So again, the corner steady is all the way down. When you put this up, this comes in this way, so it sort of covers up the thread, but here's now is all exposed. And then, as I say, what we're doing is we're just getting the muck out of the threads, and then we're gonna move the corner steady around. So I don't know if you can see the bit of a difference between here and here. I don't know whether that's actually, is that actually showing? Can you see the difference where it's a little bit shiny and dull? Right, let's crank this over. So as I say, I'm able to, can you see I'm just moving the thread around. And we're just getting right inside here. Massive difference already. And yeah, so I'm able to reach over and get any of these bits out. You see? Did you see that sludge dropping off on the floor then? The wire brush is right in those, right in the thread. So same as before, I'm just winding down a few times. And as I say, the torque on this drill wouldn't lift it. So there is a danger, obviously, if you're using quite a high, a drill that's got quite a high torque on it, that you don't really realise what's going on these threads, on these corner steadies. So just be very mindful. And also, some motorhomes do have corner steadies, so it's not just caravans, but trailers, boat trailers, anything like that. But yeah, great progress. One more to go. I'm not cheating as well. That's not going anywhere, and then trying to come down. All that's going to do is just burn out the drill motor. So that's not budging at all. So I'm going to crank this down by hand, and all being well, you'll be able to actually see the difference. And again, and then you can see. Can you see? All the grime that's gone on there now with all the grit. Can you see it all? As I say, what I need to do is come off and down there, and then do. But this one was probably the worst, and I still don't think. No, I'm going to need two hands just to crank this, just to get the whole thread. Right, so remember a few moments ago this wouldn't even lift up or down, but look now, there you go, all the way up, all the way down. As I say, you saw before the the torque on this, it wouldn't even budge. So that's the fourth one. I hope that's inspired you. As I say, that's what I've been using, is lithium grease from Rapide. As I say, I will put an Amazon link down there below if you want to go and buy it. This is available from other places. You can see the grease that's come off on the brush, and again, that's the good old manual handle, and that was not working on our recent trip out. And as I say, you just keep yourself a rag, and whatever you do, if you're playing around and you're scraping things off with a wire brush, make sure you have got some kind of eye protection on. You don't want anything dropping into your eyes. And that's all fantastic. Quite quick, quite simple. Nice day to do this. You can do it on a campsite, a camping ground, or in storage if you've got a storage yard as well as your drive. It doesn't take long, and it really is worthwhile doing. To be fair, I should have done this a couple of years ago, but yeah, we're all guilty of neglecting things when you're on a seasonal pitch. If you've liked that, give the video a thumbs up. That'd be absolutely wonderful. You're welcome to subscribe to this channel. I don't really do much maintenance on here. My Neil Taylor channel has got a lot more maintenance on trailer tents, and quite a few videos on there if ever you manage to find that. But thanks for watching from a very sunny, beautiful Lincolnshire, with our fantastic, lovely, beautiful Adria Caravan, where the corner steadies can now be wound up and wound down with ease.